So I'm looking at the camera, looking at you, bit of both.
Whichever you feel most comfortable with. To tell you the truth, this is the first time I've done this.
Oh.
So, for a change, I'm the one that's nervous in front of camera.
No, that's not like you.
So, welcome to the channel, guys. Feels a little bit weird saying that, really, because I don't really have much of a channel, but here we are. I'm here today at Verve Virtue with client and now good friend, Adam.
Thank you.
So,
welcome to my channel, Ollie. You're in my salon.
I am, to be fair. We are in a beautiful salon. Verve Virtue is sick. So if you haven't been, I strongly advise you check it out. We're here in Witney. So Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So operated a salon in Witney for 10 years. I met Ollie about a year ago. No, it wasn't a year ago. Cut that out.
I met 6 months ago, I reckon.
Is this one take again?
Oh yeah.
Always one take. Been operating 10 years in Witney, and I'd call it hopefully a successful salon. We've got 7 staff now, and I've been working with Ollie for about 6 months.
How did you come across me?
So his really good ad was pretty cool. Obviously, nice. I noticed the Oxford camera in the background. And if he can advertise his business that well, I hope he can. Well, he is obviously advertising my business the same way.
So tell me a little bit about, kind of paint a picture for me in terms of what the salon was like beforehand. I guess before we met, really, like how were things kind of operating? How were you? What were you doing to try and grow the business?
So I was doing a lot of local ads in terms of not social media, but in terms of like paper, one called the letterbox, roundabout, those sorts of things. And I had no way of tracking any results, so it was all basically lucky dip. Peeing in the wind comes to mind. So no way of growing my business quickly if I need to, no way of slowing it down if I need to. So obviously we're working with Ollie for 6 months. I now have a strategy, I would call it. Would you call it a strategy?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
It's just something that works. And once you got me to understand it, obviously I was a bit resistant at first of the camera stuff, whereas now it's getting a bit easier. What
had you kind of tried to do before? So you mentioned kind of local advertising. What did that look like?
Yeah, so it was just, I did content, so talking about hair advice in written form, pictures, hair advice, latest trends sort of stuff, but nothing to the scale of what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. Just lucky dip was what I don't know where to look.
That's fine. I'm looking at this. What I am looking at is like, did I actually press record? I did.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's fine. So you're doing kind of local advertising.
Yeah. So local advertising. Again, like I said, no way to track it. No way of knowing if the customer come from the magazine. I think I just purely did it because everyone else does it, mm-hmm. or other businesses do it. So it's a case of following what other people are doing, and hopefully it works. Which I had some good cases where I was on the front cover of the magazine, and that worked really well. But then, like when you're on page,
you'd obviously grown the business. You obviously, like, even when we kind of crossed paths and the business was like successful. You've obviously grown. You've moved premises to where you are now. Obviously, you were on Corn Street before. So it's obviously grown. So what you were doing was kind of working a bit. But
I think more word of mouth. But you can only rely on word of mouth a portion of it. But obviously, growing to a bigger premise, going to this bigger premises, it's like, how can you speed that up? How can you make it work quicker?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. How can you put more money into it and get a return when you're only in a magazine once a month? It was limiting returns on, I'm in a magazine, I'm going to write some content. Mm. Hopefully it works, hopefully it doesn't. Not hopefully.
hopefully it works.
Hopefully it definitely works. Yeah. But it's just no way of, it's almost like taking the brakes off.
Yeah.
It's like, now I know how to get customers. I know also it's made me learn more about what customers do want, going through some strategy and like actually how can we help people more. You understand actually we are more than just the hairdressers. It's like hair care advice that I think people know that they don't actually know. Stuff about how often people should have a haircut. I thought people knew it, but they actually don't. So making this content actually makes me realise how important.
How much you can help people.
Yeah.
Not just advertise your business, but how much you can actually give back.
Yeah, and even if they don't come in as a customer, at least they know the people to speak to if they do want help.
Yeah, nice.
Other hairdressers can also get advice from it as well. So, yeah, it's just good in the community as well.
And how did you come about? Obviously, you said you obviously found like through our ad and things like that. What made you want to hire me or work with us?
Because I trusted you before I met you. And it's
a bold statement.
Yeah. Do I trust him now? That is the question. But no, it's a case of like his content was really good. His advert was really good. It made total sense when you explain the system of, an ad to bring people in and then content to build trust. It weirdly made really big sense when most people are I think a lot of people and a lot of companies are really good at doing the building trust stage, but they're not attracting new people to the page for them to see it. So it's almost like, I don't know what the analogy would be. It would be like you're literally doing everything you can for a customer, but they'll never see it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. It's like bringing people in with the ad, they follow the content, they get to see what you're like day to day, and it sort of works really well.
Nice. And how have you found things? Obviously, it's 6 months we've been working together now, which has been sick. How have you found the whole process? Obviously, there was a little bit of nerves from you when we first kind of like put a camera, professional kind of camera in your face. Understandably, I've already showcased that on Instagram. It's a skill for sure, and it's not an easy one. So how have you found that kind of process for yourself, but also for the girls as well? Because I've seen a huge improvement in their willingness as well.
I think when I started, it was a case of, the phrase getting in your own way. It's like, you should do it, but sort of still don't do it. Yeah. And obviously when I committed to working with you, it's like, I now have to do it because I'm financially into this. Yeah. And then once sort of you start getting your little first few wins where it's like someone messages on a post that you've posted and they are really interested, it's like,
you're like, oh shit, it's working.
Yeah, because I think seeing is believing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, right, someone's message based on a post that I've done, they've got a similar issue or problem, and now we can get them booked in and sort them out. And it's like, oh my God, this works. And then the more you do, the more you get back. So I think when people do their own social media, they don't get that instant win that they want. It takes a while. But when you get the wins, it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like this actually really works. So we've gone from going for about sort of 90%, sort of 89% full to every single month 98% full. So we're, getting the top end of the margin, as you would call it, the better bit. And then we've gone from, maybe we added another member of staff at Christmas and she's now fully booked. We're now hiring someone at the moment. So hopefully that goes for the next couple of weeks, and then that will be another member of staff, and then we can turn the taps back on and start pushing the content again. Because I've had to slow it down because it was working too well.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
So in terms of results, what's that kind of look like then?
In terms of results, obviously more margin. Obviously, as business owners know, once all your costs are done, the bit at the top is more profit. So, margin's now sort of 15%, which is good. Before, it was probably about sort of 5 to 8%. Mm-hmm. So margins are good, which meant we now got excess money to hire someone, so it's no risk. And then I know when she starts, I know how to get her busier. Whereas before it's just luck.
Yeah.
I did ask AI my projection based on the previous person that joined, and in 2.5 months over break even, and in 5 months all the money paid back, the investment, and now we're into a good margin. So thanks AI.
Nice. So what, in terms of how it's kind of grown, it sounds like you've maybe been a little bit hesitant on really ramping up that tap, so to speak. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think.
How do you kind of think things will go what kind of position do you feel like you're in now, where when the time comes, you can literally just crank that puppy
Yeah,
open.
just more in control would be the word. Yeah, more in control. I think as you're a business owner, we're very good at in terms of structuring how to offer a service. If that's how can I word it? We're very good at sort of analysing the numbers, but in terms of marketing, that's not our strength.
Yeah.
We aren't good at pushing ourselves out there. We're not very good at telling people we're good. Whereas, once you get marketing under control, marketing, capacity, teamwork, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely something that even I've suffered from myself. Even like 8-9 months ago, for instance, before we kind of just really shook things up in terms of how we were operating. The system that I run for my business is exactly the same system that you run for your business. And even before then, it's just like, I run a creative agency. Like, I should be able to like do my own marketing, but like social media is such a minefield, isn't it? It's, there's so many different directions that you can go. But actually, if you just say, right, let's commit to this, it's, you're invested into a program by all accounts at this point. It forces you to show up, you get the reps in, and it just
takes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like now we're in a really strong position to be able to hire someone and know that I can make them busy, takes the pressure off. Yeah. It's actually fun again. Whereas before you're literally like, right, should I hire someone? Should I not hire someone? If I hire someone and they're not busy, I don't want to have the problem of maybe letting someone go, which would never be something I'd ever dream of doing. But you just don't know with the current climate, but people are willing to come to someone they trust. Yeah. And social media builds trust.
Yeah, definitely. So what would you say to anybody that's kind of perhaps in a similar sort of situation where they're kind of in a business that's, by all accounts, operationally successful, confident in their services, but kind of thinking like, I know I want to grow, but I don't necessarily know how to. There's tons of marketing agencies out there at this point.
Loads.
What would you say to somebody that's kind of considering doing something like what we do?
Two things. Look at the person you're buying from. Do you trust the fact if they can build trust with you on social media, they'll be able to do the same for you? And number two, I'd say if you've got excess capacity and it's, what's it called? The low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. Why not? Like, it's there for the taking, and it's as simple as just stepping out your comfort zone, give it a go. And
we've definitely held you a bit accountable, haven't we?
Yeah. You just have to do it. It's one of those things where anyone can go to the gym, but if you don't have a personal trainer, what are you actually doing? Are you doing the right exercises? It's the same thing in business. And as a business owner myself, like I'm sort of self-taught business owner. I never learnt marketing. No one's ever taught me marketing. No one even taught me social media. I think I know what social media is, but do I actually know what it is? Am I just consuming it rather than creating? And I think that's the big problem. Is like, we all know what good content looks like, but do we know how to produce it? We all know what a six-pack looks like. Do we know how to get there? Yeah. I definitely don't. So I'm not going to try. But I think it's that sort of setup of like, why not? Like, what have you got to lose? And the biggest lesson I've always learned was from my father-in-law. You can't afford not to market. You can't afford not to get customers because you go out of business. It's as simple as that. It's like the positives far outweigh the negatives.
Sick. Nice. We'll wrap that there then, because we've got some Claude to dig into now.
Let's go.
Let's see what we can do to modify and implement the stuff on the back end as well.
But yeah, what I'd say is, zero commitment really. Ollie's a good guy, and I truly believe he'll get you value. So and I imagine he's very honest. If he doesn't get you value, which he can, he'll look after you. Wouldn't you? You would.
I appreciate it, dude. You would. A lot. Thank you. Cheers, guys. See you hopefully in the next one.
Bye.
Let's get into Claude, mate.